Euphoria even, which spread through Israel at the end of the war of 1967. In 6 days, the Israeli army chased the Egyptians off a continent, quadrupled their coastline, doubled their area. Israel had, in 1 week, become a different country. They had become the masters of over 1 million Arabs in the Gaza Strip and on the West Bank of what had been Jordan, and of the entire Sinai Peninsula. Suddenly they were keepers of a big country, a harsh, challenging land, which no one before them had ever summoned the resources or the energy to try to tame. Before long, they built a tarmac road the entire length of the Gulf of Aqaba and opened up one of the least known areas of the world. But there were some Israelis who did not measure Sinai in terms of national pride and glory, but who loved it. In the early 70s, young Jews from all over the world were being encouraged to set up enterprises in the newly conquered and unexploited land of sea and sand and sun. And the Gulf of Aqaba has something else to sell, the marvels that lie under the water. The Rosensteins, Sharon and Howard, newly married, decided there was both adventure and money in selling the loveliest coral reef in the Northern Hemisphere. They started small. $40,000 worth of equipment included the truck.
Well, at first we came down in a van and we slept in the back on a mattress and just worked put the knife away. Had a portable compressor, filled bottles, and right off the beach just jumped in and did our diving. But then our first daughter was born, Ayelet, and we figured it was about time to move into something a little more stable. So we bought a little trailer, and our running water was outside, about 20 feet away, and no toilets to speak of, and cooking outside.
Things were different 10 years later. The family lived in Ophira, a cliff-top town housing 1,200 families, every one carefully chosen by the government. Young, virile and enterprising, the cream of the crop. All that Sharon needed for the children and all that Howard needed for the business. A telephone, telex and an airstrip big enough to bring his customers from all over the world. He owned 3 specially built boats. Diving enthusiasts are always searching for new reefs to explore. It's an addictive sport like skiing, and divers tend not to count the cost, which is just as well. This is not a poor man's pastime. He could put 100 divers underwater at once, and once did for a medical convention. It meant a lot of sophisticated, carefully maintained equipment, compressors, oxygen cylinders, masks, suits, lighting gear. When the Egyptians took over the business in April 1982, they paid him $500,000 for the boats and gear alone, and another $500,000 for the goodwill. But for Sharon, no amount of money will ever buy another Sharm el-Sheikh. It was an adventure in a new country, and it's over. Does it hurt to leave the place where she gave birth to 3 children and her husband built the business of his dreams?
Yes, of course. We've had 3 years to try to prepare them and ourselves. I don't think any amount of time will be enough. I think we're all going to go through some sort of cultural, social shock. We talk about it often, especially now in the last part of our stay, quite continuously, just to try to adjust to the idea. The children want to know what we're carrying back with us, you know, what we're taking and what we're leaving, and that that seems to prey on their minds. If they have no idea of what it is to move, a whole community. It's something that they can't comprehend. A mass pilgrimage out, that's exactly what's going to happen. Everything is going to be taken apart.